Right, welcome to Falcon Blues TV. Now before this video starts, I just want to make sure that you're all donating to Paul's sleep out at Hill Dickinson Stadium on the 10th of October. You can click on the little QR codes and go straight to the website and donate. £1, £10, £100, £1,000, doesn't matter. All the money goes towards Everton in the community. Cheers everyone. Welcome to Falcon Blues TV, and you know, what a guest I've got for this evening. Over 300 appearances for Everton, lived the dream. Lived the dream, everyone's dream, and you did it over 300 times. Former Everton right back, Tony Hibbert. Tony, cheers for coming down to the Falcon to just have a chat about your career, I suppose, but thank you for letting me weigh you down to actually come here as well. Oh. So before we start then, before we go into your time at Everton, tell us about Tony Hibbert as a youngster then. So, you know, do you have family, older family in semi-pro, professional, or were you the first of the Hibberts to actually make the step up into professional football?
Yeah, professional football, yeah. My dad, good amateur, he was a good amateur footballer. I grew up with my dad with St Aloysius. He's been playing football all his life. I've grew up with them in a pram on the sidelines, watching while he was playing with his mates looking after me, and then back in the Oaks or back in the alleys, all around Brighton, all that football scene thing. So I grew up around them footballing areas and all through obviously the generations after that. I've got a younger brother, that was it. No really sports people that I know of in my family what I've done in professional wise, no.
We'll talk about your time on going to watch Everton then. Was that a thing you did with the family as well? Did your dad take you to the matches much, or?
My dad was a massive Red.
Yeah. I've just asked the worst possible question there, haven't I? But yeah, I was going to say, was there a split in the family then?
My dad was a massive Red. He took me all Liverpool games. He went my dad went on. He was a big Liverpool fan, and my uncles were Blue fans, and they took me to Goodison. They took me everywhere. They went. I've seen all around at the trophy rooms. They took me everywhere. Cup finals. My dad would always take me. Liverpool was always at the old Wembley. Everything, it was brilliant. And then I just started being more and more introduced. My dad wasn't so much of pushing. He never pushed.
Yeah.
Everton come and wanted me at 9. And my dad knew his friend, his son was at Everton, who's a bit older than me. And he more or less had words with him to say, what you think, how is it? And more or less, his good mate told him to no, leave him, let him play a bit more, let him get a bit older. So we did, we said no, and then they come knocking again when I was 10.
So it didn't take them long then?
No.
don't let you wait for too long,
the scouts. So I went to Everton at 10. I was probably there for 2 months, I think. 2 or 3 months. No problem, loving it. And Then Liverpool started to come in. They were ringing the house constantly. They just wouldn't leave me alone. Pestering. Eventually went down. They asked me to train. I said no, I'll just go and watch. So I went to watch them training in the sports centre. I don't know what sports centre it was. And all the kids were playing in a sports centre. And what sticks out to me was they all had different kits. So we didn't have like a Liverpool training or an academy kit on, all different, which was bibs. Whereas when I would be in Everton, we had the proper Everton training kit. It was the blue stuff. And that sort of, it was like, I've made friends, we've got the training kit, plus we're training at Belfield. Whereas, no disrespect to Liverpool, it was a sports hall, it wasn't nothing to do with the club.
Nice.
And I made friends, I liked it, I liked the way it was. My dad wasn't pushing me in any way whatsoever. And I just stayed with Everton. That's right the way through. Signed all the forms and just went through the ranks. And my dad has never once said anything or tried to push me in any way, which
fair enough, Started as a midfielder?
I was younger, I was right wing.
Right, okay.
Right wing from like my local teams, and then when Everton, I was playing right wing for Everton, and then midfield, and then I had a stint at centre half. They played me a couple of times as centre half when I was younger. So I played them 3 roles, but then the majority of the role was when I was growing up. If you get carrying up into what it was like the reserves, the A and B team, I was midfield, dominant midfield position, and then it wasn't until later on, when it was more or less the 21s, when it changed, Colin and the Oldham more or less decided to put me to right back, and that's when the right back started.
And it's stuck ever since. So it wasn't all bad then.
Well, no, but that was late. That was like probably 19, 20.
Okay.
When that started.
So after the Youth Cup then as well?
Yeah, I was quite new, because obviously the Youth Cup, that was the year above me, so that was Mick O'Brien and Paul Emmett, Alan Farley, all them ages, and that was a year above.
Yeah.
So obviously the likes of me and Ozzy, that was, our age group was the next year.
Yeah.
So it was that sort of time when I was still playing midfield. I wasn't midfield until probably the year later after that.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that, because during the time in the Youth Cup, when you won the Youth Cup, you made 7 appearances as a sub, but with you now saying it was the year below, it sort of makes a little bit more sense. But did you think that from the Youth Cup win that you were going to go on and make 300 appearances for Everton, when the likes of Franny Jeffers, Danny Cadamarteri, Richard Dunn, and even the likes of Michael Ball is making that step up into the first team? Did you think that was going to happen for you?
I never thought it would, me personally, it would happen. To be honest, I never thought anything like that. It was not. It wasn't even anywhere near me interest of like, this is what I want. It was just, I took every year as it was.
Yeah.
And from the start, it was the way the academies worked then, and the way obviously you got kept on, or you got told. It was quite ruthless. So it was always, you're starting again. So you had to improve and just keep. Well, this is a new season, new year. Just improve again. And that's all my mindset was. It wasn't until probably you start joining in with the first team that obviously you're in and around the first team. That happened for a few years. Yeah. It kicks in then, and that's when your mindset changes, and obviously you're playing against the players who were in the first team, and you want to move them out the way. You don't care. You want that position, and you would do anything. I would to more or less outrun them, out-tap them, outspeed anything. So that's when it changes, when you start working around them. Yeah.
So when Walter Smith brought you into the first team, and then you made your debut in 2001, what were your thoughts of that? Because obviously it wasn't just any old game. You're going to Upton Park and you played against West Ham. You know, a ruthless game at the best of times to go to.
Well, I had no chance to think about it because I wasn't playing. We literally played on a Thursday night for the reserves, and then you 3 or 4 people would get selected to go and travel with the first team.
Right.
And you'd only be in the stand, so it would just be travelling. That's all it was. And that happened for a couple of years. So there's no difference. And then we travelled, and I remember I think we'd done like a little training session for some strange reason before the game on the park, and I'm sure it was Goffey who was struggling. Right. And no one got told, and then it was only literally the morning of the game, walking into the meeting room with the lads, and then Walter pulls me before we go into it and asks me if I'm okay, how I'm feeling. I was like, I feel all right, no problem. And he's like, good. Well, I didn't know what he was meaning. Yeah. And I was like, and he just said, okay to start. And that's where I was like, wow. Yeah. Crap. I was like, yeah, no problem. And that's how it was. It was just like that. From then we went into the meeting. He done all his briefing and his meeting, what he wanted to say. Straight onto the coach, straight to the ground. Yeah. And it was just like, wow.
No time to think, just get on with it.
My dad wasn't there, there was no one there, so no one knew. Yeah. And then literally, as soon as I got on the coach, obviously we had some like people on the coach, like characters, Unzi and stuff like that, and Bally and stuff, do you know what I mean? So they know when I'm starting, and then all I've got from Unzi is like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm just like trying to process it all and think, what is going on here? And then phone my dad. My dad was in Yallies, he was having a pint in Yallies, and there's no chance he would get down and into the game. So I had no one there, my first debut, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Yeah. I wouldn't change that one bit.
What a welcome to the Premier League, though, by Stuart Pearce.
I've still got the score.
Really?
Honestly,
yeah. I saw the penalty the other day, I was watching it back. You almost got cleared up by Nigel Winterburn as well.
Well, yeah, he was playing as well. Yeah. But it was sink or swim. Yeah. It was literally thrown into the deep end and just get on with it. It was like, to be honest, Walter and Archie were brilliant. Yeah. They was brilliant. but obviously it didn't work out for them. But it was like sink or swim and just get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the side here as well from that day. So we've got in goal, we've got Gerrard, Paul Gerrard even, and we've got Tony Hibbert, Steve Watson, David Weir, Michael Ball, and David Unsworth. 5 defenders. Yeah. Never change, Walter. Never change. But then, you know, the likes of...
I was more or less playing like a wing back.
Yeah.
I was playing a wing back then. I've never played that in my life, but you more or less play a wing back, and that's how it was.
Yeah.
I had no one in front of me. And I think we played well, to be honest. I think we played well. It wasn't Fergie and Canyon. They were nearly scrapping. It was just a big wake-up call. Yeah. Just like, wow, this is the big boys now.
But wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change it. Amazing. So, still took a little while to get into the first team full time. Only made 3 appearances that season. But then, come 2002 season, you signed a new deal with Wayne on the same night. And we've all seen the pictures. Wayne gets thrusted into the spotlight, and you just get put to one side. And would you prefer that anyway, or leave me alone? You know, I've signed my deal. I'm done. Just go and pester Wayne Rooney. You know.
The thing is, I signed my deal about 2 months before it.
Right. Oh, so it was just a case of media attention. Well,
I don't know, because obviously you've seen it. I'm on the edge.
Yeah.
So I don't know why or the thought, but like I said, I signed it 3 months before, 2 or 3 months before. And literally, it was a phone call that night. I was out playing pool in the pub. Literally.
Get to the ground because you got a press conference.
Yeah, it was that's heaven.
Yeah.
It was, do you know what I mean? It was so madness.
What was the feeling around the dressing room then with Wayne coming in? I suppose because you know, one in a million talent, plays for Everton. He's an Evertonian.
Yeah, obviously we heard about him before he come up and train with us, and then he started training with us straight away. It was just, you know, he's natural talent. He's just a natural ability was out of this world. Yeah. It was, and there was nothing really you could do. You had to leave him. You just let him do what he wanted. Yeah. Because if you try and teach him to do this or teach him to that or tell him to do this or tell him to do that, it was good that he wouldn't. Yeah. But also, you probably hamper him. Do you know what I mean? It was just you just let him get on with it. Yeah. Let him feel his way into it and deal with it. And there was nothing really he couldn't deal with. He was just so brave and so natural talented. Yeah. It was frightening.
So with Moyes coming in, Bob Smith going out, there's big changes within the club completely. But then we had the season where Wayne left the club. What was the feeling then? I mean, was everyone's like, well, why is he going? Did he? You know, it's a weird little situation that we were all in. Like,
come and go all a while. Do you know what I mean? That's the part of the business. Didn't know the ins and outs of what went on or anything. I like Wayne. I really did like him. We were close, and it was nothing in the way of. I knew he didn't obviously want to force or anything bad. This is just the industry
business.
And literally, one minute he's there, the next minute he's gone, and that was what players were like. That's how it happened. So you don't really moan about, or you don't really sulk over things, or have time to obviously let it sink in and go, oh, what's this, or how is this, or how's that going to affect us? It's just rolling on. It's just constant. Yeah. You're more or less you're getting trained as a robot. It doesn't process. Yeah. So there was nothing in the way of bad feelings or how is it going to change or affect the club. It was nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
So we had a really good season the following season anyway. After Wayne left, you know, obviously we brought in some really good players, really hard working players, which is what the club needed at the time. You know, we've been fighting relegation battles for God knows how long during that period. David Moyes comes in, steadies the ship and brings us into 4th place, Champions League spot. I mean, stuff of dreams, you know what I mean? That was like Everton's first real stint into it, but then it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. Villareal, was it?
It was hard, yeah. I still, I can probably say.
Feel free. You can swear all you want.
No, I just, we was robbed.
Yeah.
We was away to Villareal. I couldn't get my head around the decision. I think he blamed 3 or 4 people. That was a foul, and then more or less said it was Benty somehow. We were just confused in how he gave the decision that it wasn't a goal and it was a foul. It was just bizarre. But that's how it goes sometimes. It was a hard one to take.
Yeah.
It was.
One word for Pierluigi Collina then. Sum him up.
Yeah.
Corrupt as fuck.
It's horrible, but it was just so strange.
Yeah.
I couldn't see, or even looking back, and even when you still see some of the clips now, I'm still scratching my head. It's just like, and then to be there and to try and argue with the media, he just wouldn't have it. He was more confused than us, because he was naming a few people, and then he just pointed to Benty. And when we watch it back, we're looking at Benty, and there was
nowhere near him.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know what was going on. So it was bad.
Okay, speaking of bad referees, Mark Clattenburg. Mate, another one. The red cards at the derby. I've watched this back as I've been doing research for the interview and everything. How was that even a yellow? Never mind a red.
Stephen, to be honest, Stephen's clever.
Yeah.
Stephen's obviously a top-class player, and he knew exactly what he was doing. It was clever from Stephen. I personally think, Stephen knows what he's doing. I haven't tried to make it out. He's come and made the
contact, as they like to say now, isn't it?
I think, there's a penalty. I think possibly, it is a penalty. I don't think it was a red card, because I haven't done anything.
You haven't gone out towards.
But I can probably see why, but I know what Stephen said, and I know the colour of card what he had when he was about to show me, and it wasn't a red until Stephen said a red. Yeah. And then he changed, and that's what made it worse. The fact that he's got in the ear of the referee and gone, actually, I'm going to change my mind. It's like, it's like pre-VAR. Do you know what I mean? He's gone and influenced the referee like that as well, and it was. That is still one. I mean, that's why Clattenburg's not allowed at Goodison Park, and now Hill Dickinson, obviously. He wasn't, to be honest, he wasn't the best. I never liked him. No. I never, because majority of the refs, you cannot talk to them. You can't. You can't even just question them. You can't even ask them, because they just shoot you down and just want to get away, and you speak to you like you're a piece of dirt. That's how it was half the time. I don't know what it's like now, but
it doesn't feel like it's changed much though. And it's like I want to speak to the captain only and stuff like that. It's still like.
But they did try and bring that in.
Yeah.
They did.
But then when Duncan's your captain.
Well, they did. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. It is hard for them. The pressure that they're under and stuff. But it was hard to come across a new one. Well, a good ref. The ref now, who's doing the VR and all that? Who's the head of that? It wasn't it's the ex-policeman. What he was the ref?
Oh yeah. Oh God, why can't I think of his name? The bald one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't think of his name, but to be honest, he was good. At least he would speak to you and listen to you, and he would have a conversation, and he would
explain his reasons why he's giving you this,
in a nice way, where the others would tell you to go away, and you're like, I'm just trying to talk to you, and they'll just literally tell you, go away, and you're thinking, wow, that's what annoyed a lot of people. But he was good. What's his name?
I'll edit that and I'll put it on. I'll put a little tagline, say who it was, because I can't even think of his name at the moment as well. It's the South Yorkshire police ref, isn't it? Man U, he always gives like Fergie time and stuff like that. I can't even think of his fucking name now anyway. But let's talk about that side and the finish for it, because obviously, we had the really good Champions League run, but we had some great players in there. We had Joey Obo, we had the two Chinese lads, Li Weifeng, Li Tai, Tim Cahill. It was a rumblings of a really good side and the makings of a solid squad, and Benty as well, as you mentioned there, come in and worked his bollocks off every game. You knew what you were getting from him. You know, I think he scored 7 or 8 goals during that time, but the work, and you could see the work going from the back line right the way through the team. And, you know, you never felt a lack of confidence going into any game with this side?
No, to be honest, we didn't. Like, the lads what we had, it was a good bunch of lads.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That is coming from Benty. You had Pease, you had Naismith, you had Wayne Rooney, Tim Cahill, Ozzy, obviously, do you know what I mean? And then, like, AJ come in and Beats then later on come in, do you know what I mean? Like, we did have a backbone. Faddy, who was a really good group of lads. Yeah. That helped massive. And then obviously some of the football abilities the lads had, it was a good starting block for us, really. And I've always said it, like, the lads, no matter who come in to Everton, any signing, it was always integrated so quick. It was so easy for them. And that's because the lads and mostly the staff as well, like the backroom staff, that helped. But it was always a good bunch. It was a good bunch of lads who worked, most importantly, worked hard and knew the identity, knew what they had to do. No one ever knew what you couldn't give 100%. That was guaranteed no matter what. That was drummed into us from me from a younger age, from likes of Fergie, from Pease, from Waggy, all that. Do you know what I mean? That's how it should be and come down. And that's what we had, really. That's how we didn't let that slip.
Well, I was going to lead on to that then. Do you think that because you were a local lad, you had to push harder? Because I always feel like that, you know, we look at it more recently, Ross Barkley, you know, what a terrific player, absolutely terrific player, just didn't quite get to the peak of where he wanted to be at Everton, ends up at Chelsea, as we know, and now he's and gone to Aston Villa. But do you always feel like you've got to work that a little bit more? You're the local lads, you're the local hero, if you like. You know, you're playing through us, sort of thing. Do you get that feeling that you've got to do put the extra yards in?
It doesn't seem that we have to. Like, I'm a fan as well.
You want to?
It was just natural. It was just natural. When things do go bad or it's not working out, that's when obviously like me, I felt it more in a way of, I need to let these know because I'm going to get it.
Of course.
I don't want this, but I'm going to get it. I need to tell these how it is from the fans' point of view. And that's how it sort of filtered down, and it just spread a bit. Tim Cahill, he loved it. Do you know what I mean? It was like he would always say it was me, Ozzy, like Fergie, who jumped into him, and he was sort of like a scouser with me. It was always that. It was strange how you can spread it, and you can get it through to people. But it wasn't in a way like of I had to push that more. It was me just naturally. You as soon as you put a blue shirt on, no matter
you
what,
want to.
Everyone have a bad day, no matter what. You can always have a bad day, but you can never have a bad day not working 100%. That's it. If you show you're working 100% and you're trying, then the fans will clap you all day. That's it.
Fair enough. I like that. It's a good answer. So if we're now looking beyond the Champions League and we're now looking at Europa League, you still hold the record for the most appearances in European football for Everton. Believe it or not, I think it's 29 or 30 appearances altogether in all competitions. So Champions League, Europa League, what was it? And the UEFA Cup as well. And I think there was one for, I don't know, did you play for the youth team in like a European game or anything like that? I was looking at stats earlier, and they were all just like, this is confusing me now.
I think they later come in for the 21s. I think I might have made an appearance for them. 21s.
That's what the problem was.
It might have been, It might have been something like that.
It's amazing how the internet knows more than you, isn't it? It's scary.
Crazy.
But then we moved on to 2009 in the FA Cup, turning out at Wembley. What was that like for you?
It was special. Getting to Wembley, and obviously
the way we got there as well with the two derbies.
Because obviously the derbies are special. It's the build up. It's like obviously a local lad, and even before the derbies, you're counting the days down. Do you know what I mean? Whereas obviously the foreigners are oblivious, they're not really integrated. Where we're there and we're talking to the kitman, we're talking to the Martinez, the local people, the Evertonians, and you're counting the days down, you one more sleep. Do you know what I mean? It's all because you can't get away from it. As a fan and as living in the city, most of your family are talking, most of your friends are talking, they're asking for tickets. It's chaos, so you can't get away from it. So the build up to it, and obviously the semis, and then obviously the final, it was just it was an unbelievable journey. Unbelievable to get to there where like we haven't been in a long time, and the chance was special, and having all the family and having your friends there, and it was nice. It was a nice experience.
Good stuff. So it wasn't. So from the FA Cup final and everything else, that was a tough one. That was a hard game. We all know that. I think 90% of the fans had sunstroke that day as well. You know, it was a hot day. I mean, everyone was pissed by 2 o'clock anyway as well. There was a lack of water, and there was a lot of. It was one of the hottest days of the year as well. But it was like you picked up an early yellow card, and it was.
That's what I'm saying. That was a silly one again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it was the fella I was talking about, the good ref.
Yeah.
I think it was him.
Right.
And yeah, it was a stupid one, and as I was saying, stuff like that, it does ruin your game.
Yeah.
It ruins it. It was quite early on. It was. I think I was having a go with Joe Bravo, to be honest with that. But yeah, it was just a stupid yellow card for nothing. It wasn't even a towel.
Yeah.
It was just stupid. And then that obviously makes the decision for David Moyes. So
Yeah.
Of
course.
Them, do you know what I mean? We weren't playing, to be honest. We scored too early, if you want to say.
Far too early.
Yeah,
that's always been an Everton trait. That's like scored too early, haven't we?
Yeah. But it was one of them days. It was obviously they were a good team.
Yeah.
Chelsea, but it just wasn't will be for us.
So injuries took the toll a little bit as well as we're going along your career, and then David Moyes leaves the club. Roberto Martinez comes in. What was the feeling with Moyes going from making the step from Everton to United? Was everyone like, why is he doing this? Why is he leaving us when we could be doing more, or we accepting it at the time?
No. Obviously he had his reasons. He spoke to us, to be honest, fair dues, he spoke to us before he left and said it, and we just accepted it. It was his decision. Like I say,
so you ain't going to change his mind, were you, in the end?
That's what I'm saying. Players move, that's what I'm saying. Managers, it's the same thing. So it was more or less, obviously, being from Walton, obviously, David Moyes was the first one who really, I was like more or less embedded with, and obviously knew, and then obviously for him to leave, I couldn't blame him going to Man United, do you know what I mean? The scenario around it, I don't know, do you know what I mean? It's one of them, it's the club's decision, it's what goes on behind closed doors has got nothing to do with me. But it's just one of them things, get on with them, wait to see who's coming in there.
Yeah. So Roberto Martinez comes in. So what were the thoughts there? Was it, here's the fella who's just won the FA Cup, or here's the fella who's just relegated Wigan?
No, because obviously obviously he comes in, he speaks, like he phoned me first before I even met him.
Okay.
And he sounded unbelievable. He sounded good.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. You could tell that it was football. He wanted football. He loved football.
Yeah.
And obviously coming in with his team and his ideas and the way the training was and how it was and working under him, it was showing football. He loved football.
Yeah.
He wanted to play a certain way for him, which, don't get me wrong, like it was. I think if he could get it, it'd be good to watch. It was good. He likes the way Barcelona. It was all that type of playing. It was ideal. He was trying to get us to that system, to the way he wanted it.
Yeah.
First year, I think we done really well.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think we had the nucleus of Moyes and the backbone.
That's what a lot of people thought. Yeah.
We had that nitty gritty when. Yeah, Martinez was trying to put his ideas in, but we still had the know-how in a way of
solid defensively, and that defensive minded.
Yeah, go forward. So I think that worked brilliant for him. But obviously, he's the manager, he has his own way, he's got a set ways how he wants to do, and obviously slowly the people started moving and changing. That's obviously what he wanted, and trying to implement his way of playing.
I mean, he brought in some exceptional talent, you know, Lukaku, Gerrard, Gareth Barry, you know, James McCarthy, and that, like you said, that's almost like the spine of you. You know, we had Jagielka and we had Sylvain Distin as well in there. It was just a spine of a team that was being built, and it was almost like, right, okay, well, this is when Dave Moyes first took over, and we've got a style. You know, we've got but like you said, joined with Moyes' old firm, solid defence with a strong attack and flair. It was incredible. You know,
it was good to play in, and it was enjoyable. To be honest, and he is a good manager. He is a really good manager. The way he wants you to play and his ideas it's up there, like. Do you know what I mean? It is like advanced football in the way of looks and the way possession and you build up. It is probably a nice modern day football. Certainly for what under Moyes and obviously Walter we weren't used to, really. Do you know what I mean? It was just fresh ideas. But that's obviously it doesn't work out for him. It's one of them things. It happens in football.
So, at this point, we're around about 10 years into your Everton career. So we know what's coming next. Your testimonial. Obviously, the time during that, you were in and out of the team through injuries, knee injuries, ankle injuries. But then, you know, the club have given you your testimonial. How did that feel, walking out as captain for your testimonial? And we'll go on to the other bit as well.
It was unbelievable. We were asking for a couple of years. So to try and get a picture, if we could or not. And it never. It was obviously under Moyes. It never really come about, and then it was literally like again, Everton, completely out the blue. Moyes pulls me into the office, and we're looking at it, and he's like looking at the candidate, the pre-season, and how the season, what is form, the way he's going to format and see what it is, and then he says, we can try and get your game in here, a testimonial. I was like, all right. I was like,
cheers.
It was just completely out the blue. And it was like, okay, I didn't have a team, I didn't have no one, we didn't have nothing, so I was like, and we have to try and organise it in 4 months, 5 months.
Right.
And I was like, wow, okay, we've been asking for a year, 2 years to try and give us a head up, but obviously that's how it is with Everton. It's never plain simple. But, it was just it was rushed through. To be honest, the testimonial to get AK Athens and stuff like that. But obviously they're the ones who broke the record with them. That's why it was them, and they were over here. So it worked out all right for that. Obviously, the night game didn't help because I couldn't do nothing in the night. So it was, and I couldn't really have a do until a few months later.
Right. Okay.
So it was just put on me, and I had to deal with it. That's how it was. But obviously, fair dues to the club, give me a testimonial, and I wouldn't change that. And to have my family and what happened was unbelievable.
So.
Unbelievable.
You caused the riot in Bolton, mate. That you can't take that away from you. You know. But do you have any regrets about your time at Everton, about your career, or is it one of them you wouldn't change a single thing?
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change a thing. Not one regret. I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't try and go back and change anything or. No, it is what it is, and I've enjoyed it. I've loved it. Yeah, I wouldn't change it.
So we come to retirement time, and it wasn't amicable with the club. I know we spoke about this before, so you can tell me to shut up if you want to. But how did the news to find out that you weren't getting kept on? How did that come about?
It was obviously the contract was run down with Martinez, and obviously the agents, and you ask a year in advance, can we talk, sit down and try and figure something out and know what's happening. With Martinez, all he kept saying is, we'll sort something out, don't worry. So obviously it's coming closer and closer. 5 months, he's still saying the same thing.
Right.
So we're scratching our heads, we don't know what's going on. Me personally, I would never ever want to leave. I never wanted to leave Everton. I never. I would play for Everton for nothing. I would. I have previously took deductions in my wages coming towards with my injuries and obviously getting older. I took deductions just to stay and play. I would never ever say I never wanted to play for Everton or refuse to play for Everton. I would play for Everton no matter what. So it was still a point in a way of, can I still do it or do I want to with the injuries wise? And I weren't too sure myself.
Right.
So I was waiting on them to give me an answer, really. And then it come to the point where I think it was a month before I picked up a bad ankle injury in training. It was the game. It was a training couple of days training session before we played Leicester away. I was starting a centre off.
Wow.
We were doing set pieces, or we were doing some game shape, and I was starting centre off, and I'd done my ankle in that training session and needed surgery. It was a bad operation. So I was obviously injured for the end part. Martinez still saying the same thing. Don't worry, we'll sort something out. We didn't know what we were going to sort out or what he was going to offer or what was going on. Obviously the chairman and obviously the owner, I don't know what was going on there. Obviously I know Bill wasn't in the best of health, but it was a bit of a mess what was going on. We didn't know what was going on there. Come to the end, at the end of the season, still asking the agents what's happening. He's still trying to get answers. He's saying not getting any answers yet. Literally, I got a phone call. I was out in the pub with me. I think me.
It was in the pub, Tony.
I know.
I'm not helping you.
It was like the day or 2 days after the season, and I'm in the pub in Formby, and my missus phones me and says, I'm getting messages and phone calls saying you've been let go. I was like, oh, what's that on? She's saying, oh, people are saying it on the internet. I said, don't, it's the internet, so you hear a lot of stuff, so don't believe it. She said, Tony, no, I'm getting loads of them. So like, send me the link. So she was sending me the link of this, and people messaging it. So I'm thinking, what's this? This is like official, like the Premier League thing. So I phoned Danny Griffiths and said, Dad, what's this? The club has done a statement and released these players, obviously Aussie, Pino and all stuff like that. He went, yeah, we've got to do that every year to the Premier League, and that's like to give them a heads up. I was like, all right. He said, no one spoke to you. I was like, no.
Fuck's sake.
So that's how it was, in a way of no one said anything. It was my missus getting told, and we tried to speak to the chairman. Obviously getting no joy, and obviously Martinez was obviously sacked, so it was just left. I was still injured, so my foot in a brace, everything. We eventually got hold of Bill. Obviously, fair dues to him, he said obviously the club will try and do a rehab, get you back, look after you. So come in and speak, and knew obviously most of the backroom people and the staff there. They come in, they had to come in at a certain time, changing changing rooms, all that, and then obviously not integrate with the first. So I was doing that I think I'd done that for 2 weeks, and just walk out. I couldn't do it, so I just walk out. So I told the lad who was doing it, he was more or less one of the young lads, physio. He's the main physio there now.
Right. Okay.
So he was there. And he was the one who was more or less rehabbing me a little bit. And I just said, literally, I was just sitting in the gym. I said, I can't do this.
Don't need to be doing this.
This is just killing me. I can't do it. And just left. And never went back.
But you, as I said at the start of this, Tony, you've lived the dream. You've lived everyone's dreams. I mean, we've had Derek Mountfield in here, and he said, playing for Everton, it's a privilege. It's one of those things, it's a select number of people, select number of local people, local lads as well who get the chance, and when you do, you take it, and you have, and that's something that you can be proud of, for the rest of your life. And I think thank you for joining me. This has been like really insightful. It's good to find out a bit more about yourself, because you're a very quiet individual, and people respect that as well. I mean, I know I've worn you down and I brought you here for tonight, but I just think that people do want to hear about Tony Hibbert. You'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised how many people. But yeah, Tony, it's been brilliant. But I'll finish this side of the interview, and then I'm going to have a couple more questions and then a little quick fire with you. But yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Cheers, Tony. You know what? This has been an absolute pleasure. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you've had an enjoyable time just going down memory lane with us as well. But thank you very much. No, thank you. And make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel. Make sure you're also donating to Paul's Hill Dickinson sleepover tomorrow night. You'll click on the QR code. Get that right eventually, because I've been saying it wrong all day. Click on the QR code and go straight to the donation site and donate £1, £10, £1,000, whatever you want. But Paul's doing the sleepover tomorrow, and he'll be doing a live chat as well. So make sure you're watching that. Till then, up the fucking toffees. Tony, pleasure. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers, Paul. Thank you.